Hey y'all, Mia here, and welcome back to my channel where I try to teach you how to find true inner peace and happiness. We have been on a mission for self-esteem, but honestly, I kind of want to switch up and change to something that's been heavy on my noggin. And that is how to heal. I love that on social media everybody's talking about you need to heal your inner self, but nobody's really explaining how to do that. Well, the concept is extremely easy. You just need to go back to every bad experience you've ever had, every trauma, every hurtful, every embarrassing experience that's brought you down, and you just need to define or redefine that meaning to you so that it no longer bothers you and your brain can be like, all right, I'm done with this, bye. All right, so this can look like one of three ways that have worked for me. Maybe you can give this a try and see if they work for you too. One would be go back in time to each bad experience and try to find the love in the trauma. And I know this sounds ridiculous because you go back and you're like, where is the love in the car accident? Where's love in rape? Where's love in something that was stolen from me? Where is this love? Well, if you've learned anything about anything we've been talking about so far, remember most of the love comes from within anyways. So what this meant for me was going back in time and coaching myself through love. I found out that I was the love in every experience. And what I mean by that is I was able to look at everybody who's ever done me dirty, who has ever hurt my feelings or brought me down, and meet them with compassion. And that to me was the love. And what this does is it helps you kind of like release that hold on you. Because now you're meeting something instead of with anger and sadness, you're meeting it with compassion. So I looked back and I was able to see how much everybody that hurt me hated themselves and how much them doing what they did to me affected them too. I could see right into their eyes, right into their souls. And I basically found that I was the love the entire time. And that made me feel a lot better. So that was one way that you can go back and start to heal your inner traumas is go back and meet them with love. Find the love. It'll help. 2, forgiveness. You've got to learn to forgive yourself and others, not because what they did was okay or what happened was all right, but because you want to release all attachment of it and them to you. When you hold on to a bad memory and it just comes up from random times and it just makes you feel all sorts of awful all over again, it has a hold on you. It has an attachment. And what those attachments do, they kind of make you feel broken down. This will come out as like anxiety, and it'll come out as depression, and it'll come out as emotional triggers. Because these bad memories, they come up and they re-bring up the trauma, and then you feel like you're going through it all over again. Your brain doesn't recognize positive and negatives. It just recognized something that meant something to you, so it decided, hey, I'm going to hold on to this for you. You need to tell your brain that it's okay to let this go. So a lot of the times going back and forgiving yourself and forgiving others and letting go of the situation of what happened to you is an ultimate, and I mean top-notch healing experience because you're releasing any and all attachments of it. So if it was the parent you felt abandoned you, if it was an ex-boyfriend that left you devastated, or another family member that really just brought you down, go back and be like, you know what? I forgive you. Obviously, you were going through some type of something to meet me with that type of hate and nasty. I feel bad for you. I forgive you, and I no longer keep this attached. I'm not releasing this. And then once you find the love and once you find the forgiveness, you do a type of visualization where it really is in with the good, out with the bad. You picture all of that nasty that you're letting go of, that you're releasing attachment to, creating this big dark cloud inside of you. Watch it come out, and it can go into a balloon. It can go into a statue. It can go into the air. You let it go and you say, this has no hold on me anymore, brain. We can release this. Number 3. This is the hardest of ways, and I do not recommend that you do this by yourself. You will need the help of a licensed professional for mental health and care, because this type of healing of inner trauma, if you pull yourself out of it too soon, Or if you don't get coached through the situation, you can actually end up re-traumatizing yourself. So the first two, I mean, all of these, it would be good to do with somebody who's professional, but the first two are a lot easier if you're willing to try this on your own, but it has to come from a place of compassion. Otherwise, you're going to go back and this isn't going to do things for you. But number 3 is comforting your inner child and coaching yourself through the situation as if you were talking to yourself. The reason why this is so hard, your brain does this thing called disassociation, where your little baby brain that was built before the age of 7, it's your subconscious, it's the foundation of who you are at your core and the beliefs that you got from the world. It basically takes and traps these terrible memories and it kind of encloses them like this. So you have access to bits and pieces of them. You feel overwhelmed all the time. You feel tired all the time because your brain is just holding on to these really nasty things. So what this looks like, and what this looked like for me, was going back with a counselor and seeing where my issues came from. Now, you're going to have to be open and honest with what your issues are. So for me, one of mine was fears of abandonment. We had to go back in time and figure out where my abandonment issues truly came from and why I felt the need to project those onto other people, i.e. the people that were just trying to love me. So what this looked like, we did a type of very light hypnosis. It was called, I believe, ERMD, where it's just basically an eye movement while you're getting coached to go back in time. You are very much awake. You're very much aware of your surroundings. This is not the scary part. The scary part is when you start to get the vision of you as a child and what you're going through. It's really scary because you feel the emotions that you felt when you were that old. What this looked like for me, and maybe this will help you and you can learn from this experience, was I saw myself just a little baby in kind of like a dark grayscale room. It was a room that I was very familiar with because I didn't actually live in that room as a baby, but my brain took me back to as far as it could in this time. And little baby Mia was sitting and playing with her dolls, right? And I'm knocking on the door and I'm trying to get through to her and she's got all these walls up. I couldn't even open the door. I didn't even know if she could hear me. She was just so encapsulated in what she was doing. She didn't want to hear it. My coach was like, Mia, you don't have to make contact with her today. Just let her know that you're there and you're trying to comfort her. And this was really, really sad to me because I looked at this baby and I was like, she is so alone and she pushed everybody away. Why? So that was the first time I tried going back and healing my inner child for fears of abandonment, okay? My coach was awesome and she directed me through it the entire time. And I did feel a lot lighter when I came out of it. We had to revisit this a second time because she knew there needed to come a point where I was able to make contact with that inner child. And I know this stuff sounds pretty crazy, but understand here, the mind works in really mysterious ways. It traps emotions and feelings and memories in really mysterious ways. It is what it is. So the second time we went back, I finally unlocked a memory, okay? I was maybe 2 years old. And at the time, my mom was a single parent raising me. She was working full time. She wasn't anywhere near me. She was working and it was late. It was right around 8 or 9. It was already dark. I was very small. I couldn't really care for myself because I was so small. And I remember being sick and I woke up in what I felt like was the middle of the night. It was probably really only like 9:30. And I go out into the hallway and my brother probably thought that I was passed out asleep with my fever because he wasn't there. Maybe he left to go hang out with friends or a girl. I don't know. I was just alone. And how powerful this exercise is my adult life right here, right now, I started to crave eggs. That told me that in this memory of mine, I was hungry and I didn't have anybody to cook for me. And I had a fever and I was alone and I was scared. Nobody was there. And a 2-year-old with a fever cannot take care of themselves. They need nurturing. This is not a dismiss on any of my family members. They all did very, very well raising me. But this is how your brain traps memories. So what I remember doing when I was a kid is I taught myself, you know what? I don't need anybody. I'm just going to take care of myself. And from that moment on, I threw up every wall I can. And I said, I don't need anyone to take care of me. And my brain went, okay, Next relationship you get into, you're going to be too independent. Every girlfriend that comes into your life, you're going to find reasons to push them away. You want to be alone, you want to be independent. If that's what you want, I'm going to give it to you, because your brain does not recognize positives and negatives. It just does whatever it thinks you want. And so my little baby brain took that and stored that. And so what we did is we coached through it. And me, myself, as an adult, I had to visualize myself going back in time and taking care of that baby. Again, we're redefining what that moment and that memory meant to me. You're gonna have to do the same thing for you. So I went back and I cooked that little baby eggs. And my coach goes, "What is the baby's look on her face?" She looked at me and smiled, and she trusted me. And it was like she was thanking me without using words, because she can't speak. She's a toddler. And in that memory, I remember watching my parents, my mom and my brother turn on the TV. So I knew how to do that. So I turned the TV on and I watched The Last Unicorn, because that was the movie I was obsessed with as a child. And so me as adult Mia went back and I watched that movie with her. And I gave her the comfort that she needed. What that told my brain, I got what I needed. I no longer have to hold on to this memory, and I can release it. You guys, ever since then, I haven't been afraid of abandonment or anybody leaving. I feel so much more whole and so much better that I completely understand if somebody is removed from my life, it's because they are meant to be removed from my life. So this is video number 1 on how to heal. If anything in this spoke to you, or if you want to try this journey on your own, let me know how it goes. But again, don't try the inner child one without professional help, because there was absolutely a time where I wanted to scream, stop, I can't do this, I don't want to, because it's an uncomfortable feeling. And the worst thing you could do is go back in time, go into a panic attack, have nobody to coach you, and then you wake up even more traumatized. So this is it, guys. This is video number 1 on how to heal. And healing is a huge, huge necessary step to finding true peace. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you've wanted to try, or if that you're going to try this, or if you've got a similar experience. Let's learn from one another. Have a fabulous day.